All right, guys, welcome to the ELDOA 1 class inside of the Integrated Athlete program. So if you ended up here from YouTube or Instagram or something like that, we have the Integrated Athlete 6-week program linked down below in the description. It's 6 weeks of training plus some home workouts plus an ELDOA session like this, plus some mace and rope flow and all sorts of stuff that I put together from the past 15 plus years of experience in the industry, trying everything from long distance Ironman endurance racing to bodybuilding and powerlifting to functional fitness to all sorts of stuff. So it's all in there. It's free. Check it out in the description below. If you're here from the Integrated Athlete program, what we're going to be doing today is working on what we call the ELDOA. All right. So to know the basics of the ELDOA, what we're really trying to do is decompress a lot of the tight areas and overloaded areas of your body that tend to become overly stressed and chronically tight and kind of just feeling shitty from bad posture, sitting at a desk too long, even lifting with bad technique, and things that just tend to take up a lot of, how would you say, brunt of the kind of exertion that you put out whenever you're just doing athletic stuff. Your lower back, the middle of your T-spine, the base of your neck, your shoulders and hips, all of these areas tend to get a lot of wear and tear on them, especially as you try to really get after it out there in your life. So 3 things to know about the ELDOA before you get into it. The first thing is that the goal of the ELDOA is to find your gravity line. So your gravity line is what we're going to call the perfect alignment of your head, your rib cage, your pelvis, and your support system underneath you on your feet. Your goal is to try to find that balance with as little effort as possible, and then to breathe and stay in that balance like you're trying to balance on a bullseye. The second thing being is that you're looking for full body connection. So whenever I have my head doing something, my arm doing something, my leg doing something else, I want to try to find a balance and a connection between all of those pieces so that my entire system is working as a unit and it's not just my shoulder versus my leg versus my breathing versus my core. Okay, and the last thing is your breathing. So our goal here is to decompress our spine and leave feeling taller than how we entered the session. So if I'm holding my breath, well, then I'm getting ready to lift a big weight. And with a big weight on my back, it's very difficult for me to expand and get taller and really open up my breathing and my posture. So despite all of the hard work that you're gonna be doing, despite how it might be difficult or you might be feeling inflexible or whatever, your goal here is to try to breathe as fully, deeply, and as 360 as you can while you're doing these exercises. If you're holding your breath, you're not getting anything from it, regardless of how much it burns, regardless of how difficult it feels, and all of the other pieces that go into this, all right? So for today's class, what you're gonna need is a mat and a wall, and that's it. If you don't have a wall, find a tree. If you don't have a tree, find a friend, all right? Figure it out, okay? So you're just gonna need a mat, you're gonna need a wall or a tree or a friend, and we're gonna be here for about 25, 30 minutes, and we're just gonna have a good little time, all right, y'all? So let's get into it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So what I'm gonna have you do is I want you to find your feet underneath your hips, okay? That's about a fist width apart between your feet. I want you to feel your feet relaxing on the ground, trying to spread and open up, okay? And what I'm gonna have you do for the next minute or so is try to find your gravity line. So your gravity line is your hips directly over the base of support of your feet, not here, okay? Everything's perfectly stacked. The back part of my ribs at the bottom is where my kidneys are. I want to put that over my hips. I want to bring my shoulder blades over my hips, so not too far behind, not too far in front. And then I want to put my head over my hips. Now that I'm here, my goal is to try to tell all of my muscles to relax and let go so that I can just be supported by the ground and use as little effort as possible to stand here, right? It's kind of interesting how all we're doing is standing, but sometimes after standing for a long time, we can have a lot of fatigue in our legs, a lot of soreness on our back, and a lot of different things like that, okay? That typically means that we're in an inefficient gravity line and we're not very stacked like we want to be. So now that I've found my gravity line, I'm going to be trying to balance in it, and I'll notice little muscles kicking on and off. I'll notice it's maybe a little difficult for me to stay perfectly in this gravity line, but I'm trying to just hold my posture here and slowly increase the depth of my breathing while bringing down the rate of my breathing. So that's fewer breaths, but bigger breaths. Here we go. I want to try to find a balance between the front of my foot and my heel, where my toes can just nice and easy open up. Okay, I'm a visual person and I cook with butter a lot. So might be a weird one if you don't do this, but you put butter in a pan when it's cold. As it melts, it starts to just open up across the pan. All right, that's what your foot's doing on the ground. That's what your posture is doing. Okay, just let yourself expand and relax. Good, now you're gonna take one arm straight up to the sky, other arm straight up to the sky. My palms are flat to the ceiling, my fingernails are being pulled to the ground. It's like I'm holding 2 trays of drinks above my head. And now I'm gonna breathe, and as I breathe, I wanna try to push the earth down with my breath. As I push the earth down with my breath, I wanna try to push the sky up with my lungs. So I'm pushing the air down, but as my lungs get bigger, it allows my arms to go up a little higher. Good, try to maintain your gravity line and try to notice what starts to want to work or go out of place or be a little bit more involved than maybe it needed to be before. Good, we got 20 seconds left. Even after this 1 minute, you should feel a little bit taller than you did coming into this. Nice deep breath in, nice smooth exhale. Give me one more breath in. We're going to bring our arms down. Big breath in. Lengthen your body equally. Easy, relax one arm, but maintain your head. Relax the other arm, maintain your head. Very slowly, now you're going to start to kick your ass back, trying to push your hips behind your heels until you feel some length and engagement in your glutes. Now from this position, I want to maintain the length of my spine without folding, without arching. So I'm pulling my ribs back to the ceiling a little bit, pulling the back of my head to the ceiling a little bit. And now I'm trying to breathe into my back pockets, pushing my hips further behind me on every inhale. Good. Try to let the inside arch of your foot relax inward slightly. So I'm not outside on the outside edge of my foot. I'm resting on the inside part of my foot, the big toe, the inside part of my heel. Good, and just maintain your length. So I'm really trying to sit my ass back, assisted very strongly by my breath. One more breath in, one more breath out. Pull those ribs back a little bit. Stop the chest from arching. Keep lengthening the hips back. Now to stand up, I'm gonna push my ass down into my feet. My feet are gonna push into the earth and I'm gonna stand up. Beautiful, guys. Okay, let's start to march a little bit. So I'm gonna let my arms swing, my legs swing, and I'm gonna continue to try to breathe very big, okay? So as you're doing these exercises, and this is a principle that we try to carry through every exercise that we do, but gravity is all the time trying to make you smaller, okay? We've all stepped on a Coke can or a beer can or whatever before in our life, all right? And the beer can doesn't crumble perfectly straight down, all right? It crumbles a little left and a little right and a little left and a little right until finally it's totally smushed, all right? So gravity's doing the exact same thing to you. So if you have a hip problem, that part of your body is typically being compressed in a weird way. If you have a shoulder problem, same thing, it's being compressed. A neck problem, being compressed. Lower back problem, being compressed. That's what herniated discs and all of those spinal pathologies are, right? So as you're breathing here, as you're moving here, try to ask yourself, how big is my body from the center, all right? I don't need to just be big with my muscles, although that's pretty awesome too, but I wanna try to be big from my center. My center is my heart and my lungs, so I try to breathe outward to make my body very big. Okay, nice and smooth. I'm gonna bring my legs a little higher. I'm gonna move my arms a little bit more. Good, try to keep your hands relaxed, no gripping. Got about 20, 30 seconds left. We just wanna get the heart rate up a little bit, get a little blood flow here, especially if you're working out like me right now, which is a non-insulated room, AKA Shift Studios, AKA my basement, right? All right, nice and smooth. It actually feels pretty good, okay, especially when we're doing some of the home workouts in the Athletic for Life program to be nice and chilly down here. Okay, give me about 5 more seconds. Continue to try to pull your spine up from your lungs, but be heavy in your hips and your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, guys. Okay, so my mat is a good width for me. So I want to take my feet just outside the width of my mat. or for you at home, if your mat's different, all right, that's just outside the width of your hips. Turn your feet slightly inward. And now from this position, try to find your gravity line from your head to your heart, heart to kidneys, kidneys to hips. So everything is stacked. I could have 1,000 pounds fall on my head and it would go into my hips and my feet. It wouldn't go anywhere weird in my spine because I'm nice and stacked, okay? Spreading through your collarbones. What I want you to do is take 3 deep breaths and try to push down into the floor and spread the floor with your hips. So my pelvis is trying to reach down into my feet. My feet are feeling how firm the ground is. And I'm pushing outward slightly against the ground with a spreading motion here. Maintain the length of your body. And now start to see if you can slow the rate of your breathing, but increase the depth. Good, I'm getting wide through my collarbones. Last one. Good, so I feel very anchored to the floor. I feel how firm the ground is. I feel very supported by the ground. I can make my spine long like a tree. Arms go out to the side, palms are flat to the wall. Take 2 deep breaths now, where you try to increase the distance between your palms. So I'm making my wingspan bigger. And my lungs are pushing my palms apart. One more. When you exhale, don't let the wingspan get short. Good. Now, as you exhale, slide your spine over your right foot without moving your right leg. Okay, my hips stay still. I slide my spine to the right and I come back to the middle. We're gonna do about 5 or 6 to the right. Nice and smooth. Good, a little bit of weight shift is okay, but I don't want to see a big lunge to the side. I'm just moving my upper body. Good, one more. Okay, now we go to the left. If I get short while I do this, I might run into a lot more range of motion problems. If I stay lengthened while I do this, I'm actually moving the tissue I want to move. Now we go smooth all the way left, all the way right. All the way left, all the way right. I maintain my gravity line. For me, a big problem is wanting to arch my chest forward. Okay, keep reaching your arms. Your wingspan's getting bigger. Nice and fluid now. 5, 4, smooth with your breathing. 3, 2, good. And last one, perfect. Stop in the middle. Shake out the arms for a second. Beautiful, find your gravity line again. Okay, my chest went a little forward, my head went a little forward. Bring your right hand on your head. Nice, easy bend to the left. So it's like I'm sliding my left arm down my leg. My right elbow is reaching up. And now I come back to the middle, perfectly straight. And then I bend again. And all I'm doing is trying to open up the right side of my spine as I breathe. Nice and long. I'm really lengthening from my right foot, right hip, all the way up to my right elbow. Good, give me 2 more. 2, we're gonna change sides, and 1, beautiful. Left hand on your head, easy bend, and come up, good. Guys, if you have a little history of back pain, or that's something that you struggle with, a lot of times our spine gets locked down because it's afraid to move because pain is no fun. So it says, all right, I can protect myself from pain if I don't move, right? But a lot of times creating movement and feeling a little bit more free in your spine can help so much with that pain, and it doesn't have to be anything complex. That's why I love the rope. That's why I love these little spinal moves. Okay, we're gonna change sides again. Now you're gonna reach as you bend. Reach and relax. Reach and relax. Reach and relax. As they say, motion is the lotion. Reach and relax. Now if you can inhale as you reach, you're getting the most expansion that you can. Good, and again, still reaching down with my right hip as I reach up with my right hand. Give me 3 more. 2, 1, change to the left side, bend, reach, good. Reach, good. Okay, reach, good. Both of the big muscles of your upper body, okay, your pecs and your lats, of course you have others, but they both attach all the way down to your pelvis, all right? That's the anchor for your shoulder into your core there. So if you have shoulder problems, typically the connection from your shoulder all the way down to your hips and your core is broken, or it doesn't communicate so well. So part of reestablishing that connection is being able to feel this stretch all the way down to the back part of your lower back. Give me 2 more, 2 and 1. Good, guys. We're going to put those moves together. So I'm going to slide right, tip right, and then return back to the middle. Here we go. Slide right, tip right, return back to the middle. Slide right, tip right, return back to the middle. Slide right, and return back to the middle. Good. 1 more. Slide, tip, return back to the middle. Slide, tip left, back to the middle. Good. Slide, tip, back to the middle. When you return to the middle, I treat it like a game. I'm trying to land perfectly on top of my hips as straight as possible. 1 more left. And back to the middle. Good. Now we put both together. I slide right, I tip right, I come back up. I'm still over my right foot. And now I slide all the way across. I tip and I come back up. I'm still over my left foot. I slide all the way across. Nice and fluid here. Big slide, big tip, untip, slide the other way. All the time making that wingspan bigger. Good, guys. I got another 5-10 seconds here. Good. Last one right. Left. Good. Last one left. And beautiful. Awesome, guys. Okay, turn to the side for me. Or rather, I'm going to turn to the side. Okay, we got some roll downs and roll ups. So what I want you to do is bend your knees, but other than your knees, everything is perfectly stacked. Head is on tall. Chin is slightly up. Eyesight's on the horizon. Big through the collarbones, big through the lungs. Hips and shoulders are all stacked. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to start to roll my chin, but I'm not going to jam my chin back. I'm just going to let my head, as if I have a glass of water on top of my head, I'm just going to gently pour it forward. I'm going to keep that momentum going. And now I'm going to start to roll my shoulders like a rag doll. My knees are still soft. My hips are pushing into the floor. Now I'm rolling through my mid back, through my low back. Good, through my hips. Now when I get to the bottom, my hands, I'm going to interlace my fingers, flip my hands over, and push my palms to the ground as I try to turn my legs slightly inward. And I'm going to breathe deeply for about 10-15 seconds here. Good. Gently pushing my knees a little straighter. Trying to push my butt up to the ceiling. Last deep breath. Slowly bend your knees. And I want you to roll up one piece at a time, pushing with your glutes into the ground. I don't want to lift my spine with my spine. I want to lift my spine with my hips in the earth. Good. Take a deep breath in at the top. Awesome, guys. Okay, what we're going to do now is have a seat on the floor. All right, so as you have a seat on the floor, I want you to find your knees about 90 degrees, okay? You don't have to have a protractor out, all right? This isn't 10th grade algebra. Or see, I don't even know what kind of math I'm talking about. 10th grade geometry, all right? So anyway, feet are about a fist width. Knees are about 90 degrees. What I want you to do here, okay, is first waddle a little bit side to side on your pelvis. Okay, and try to find perfectly 50-50 right and left. Specifically, if you know you have a little bit of discrepancy in one hip or the other, for me, it's my right side. I tend to favor my left. I tend to want to be on my left. So I have to work hard to try to lengthen my right side and slide my body a little bit more over my right hip and be a little heavier on that side. So I want you to do the same. I want you to find perfectly symmetrical 50-50 down the road. Now, as you breathe, see if you can feel your breathing help you become taller. Good. If you're working so hard with your muscles, like your arms or your hip flexors or something like that, then your breath will have to be a little shorter, or it'll be harder to breathe deeply. I want you to try to push your breath into the ground the same way a rocket pushes its exhaust into the ground to shoot up, right? I want you to do the same thing. A tree pushes its roots into the earth. There's a whole bunch of visuals that you can use for this. And now as I do this, I work on my stack. So for most guys, we tend to arch our chest. Okay, that's what we think good posture is. So I want you to try to bring your heart and your kidneys back. And as you bring your heart and your kidneys back, I want you to slide them up the wall. Okay, for me, I have a wall behind me, so it's a little easier to visualize that. So imagine sliding your heart and your kidneys up the wall as your hips push into the ground, and your head is perfectly stacked. Good, guys. I want you to take one arm forward, big high five hand, rotate your thumb away from the center line. Maintain your breathing. You're actively pushing with your palm towards the camera, okay? Or away from your chest, like a push-up. Other arm's gonna do the same thing, but I do not want you to lose your posture. So if you let go with your arm and you fall down and it looks like shit, okay? Reassess with the arms back. Keep everything square. Try to find your perfect position and then re-engage your arms. Maintain a nice deep breath. As you sit a little bit taller on your hips, try to let your knees fall down. I'm using my spine to stay up, not my hip flexors. Take another deep breath in. And slowly start to lift your arms. It should take you 10, 15 seconds to get your arms all the way up. Because as you lift your arms, I want you to maintain your gravity line. Don't let your head fall forward. Good. Don't let your chest arch. Push a little harder down with your hips. And now that you're at the top, I want you to lengthen and expand your body just like you did in the warm-up. And breathe. The shaking you hear is real. Okay, it's not an audio effect I added after. And I want you to lengthen your spine. Good. Imagine you have a friend coming by and they're going to push down on top of your head. I want you to push down into the earth and resist becoming smaller. See if you can lengthen your breath. 10 seconds left. We hold each of these postures for a minute. 3, good, stay on top of your hips. 2, stay equal right to left. Last one. Easy, bring one arm down, but don't lose all of your posture. Easy, bring the other arm down, but don't lose all your posture. Try to settle your breathing a little bit. Take 2 breaths to let that kind of sink in. Beautiful, good. From this position now, we're going to crisscross our feet. So, with our feet crisscrossed, it's important to know that I do not need my feet tucked under all the way underneath my glutes, okay? Not like I've been a yogi for 50 years or anything like that. I just need your legs crossed. If you're really tight in the hips, or crossing your legs pushes your spine back so far that you look like the letter C, okay? Then move your feet as far away as you need to feel like you can get the goal of a straight spine, okay? Or as close to it as is possible for you today. From this position now, my hands are grabbing onto my shins just below my knee. My shoulders are setting very wide, very square, and I'm trying to think about my back expanding outward like the hood of a cobra, expanding outward. Good. And start to breathe and set your posture. Good, guys. So whenever we think about our breathing, okay, oftentimes we think about breathing into our belly, so we see our belly expand forward. That's all cool, all right? But remember, you have a front half and a back half, all right? So oftentimes we expand so far forward, or we emphasize the forward part so much that we totally forget the back part, and our spine and the back of our rib cage and all of the stuff back there becomes very tight, chronically stressed, and it doesn't move because it doesn't move with our breathing. So I want you to try to breathe back through your ribs now. Good. You don't have to flex the muscles in the front necessarily, but I do want you to intentionally try to feel that you inflate the back half of your lungs. As you do that, try to ask if you can pull yourself a little bit taller from the ground. So I'm using my hips into the ground to help me pull up a little straighter. My breathing is there to help me, and I maintain my gravity line. Good. And take 2 more deep breaths where you try to get 1 millimeter taller and 10% better with your alignment. Okay, I like to put numbers on things because for me, it's like, okay, my alignment's better. Well, like, how much better? What do you mean, right? So for me, I like to quantify. That's why I like training so much, because I can see last time I did 50 pounds, today I did 51. It's like, okay, made progress, right? Try to be a little bit taller. Try to be 10% taller. Here we go. Maintain your spine. Push your butt into the floor. Take a deep breath in. Try to lengthen your body. Bring your hands together in front of your chest like you're praying. Good. Maybe your hip flexors are on fire like right now. Okay. Mine are for sure because my body wants to fall backwards, but I got to lengthen up above my hips. Deep breath in now. I'm going to push my hands to the sky, keeping my fingertips and my palms lightly touching. And we go up, 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 we go up. This one you could call the steeple. Now, really make sure that you're not arching your abs forward. You're not arching your heart forward. You're breathing through the back half of your lungs. And you're lengthening. Good, guys. Try to breathe. Good. Just like air fills a balloon or just like water fills a balloon, I want you to try to use your breath to expand your posture. The more air you can breathe in, the bigger you are. Give me 10 seconds. Three. Last deep breath in. Easy, relax the arms, but again, do not lose the spine for me, please. Maintain your spine. Maintain your spine. Beautiful. Stay nice and tall. Awesome, guys. Good. Okay, we're going to go through these last two more quickly. Here we go. Stack your feet. Stack your knees and your feet. Your feet are a fist width apart. Okay? And I want you to bring your knees in line with the middle of your foot. Okay, so not open here like the first one that we did. Knees more in line with the middle of the foot. From this position, the tendency is going to be, unless you are a very flexible person, which if you are, kudos to you, the tendency is going to be that my pelvis rolls backwards, rolls back. Because that happens, my chest is going to want to arch to make up for that. What I want you to work on is trying to bring your spine up above your pelvis, right? Up above your pelvis. Up above your pelvis. Good. Up above your pelvis. As you try to rotate your pelvis slightly forward into a more flat and neutral position. I might not be able to talk as much during this one, guys, because it is hard when you get to the end here. Now, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to push the inside of your heel and the inside part of your big toe into the ground. Okay? Into the ground. So I don't want your feet flopped open like this. I want the feet pointed straight, and I want the inside of the foot reaching towards the ground. You're going to give yourself that nice arch. I'm turning my knees inward. I'm turning my thighs inward. I'm pulling my heart and my lungs back, and I'm lengthening my body up above my hips. Good, guys. Feel how high your head is off the ground. Ask it to be half an inch further away, half an inch closer to the ceiling. Good. Maintain the inside part of your heel and your foot. Big toe. Rotating the knees inward. Rotating the thighs inward. Good. It's like I'm trying to get my knees to touch a little bit. Beautiful. Take one arm forward. Other arm forward. Good, guys. Reach your arms towards the camera. Take a deep breath. Get your spine as straight as it can be. Now I inhale and I go up. Good, guys. We're going to push a little bit here. Try to get your hands further away from the floor. Try to get your feet to roll in and push on the inside part of the arch and the toe a little more. Try to get your head a little more in line with your spine as you bring your arms slightly back. Breathe through the back half of your lungs and go up. 10 seconds. Shit. Haven't done this one in a while. It's hard. Here we go. 5, 4, taller guys. 3. Last deep breath in. One arm comes down, thank goodness. Other arm comes down, thank goodness. Beautiful, easy. Relax your hips, relax your spine. Awesome, guys. What we're gonna do now, okay, last exercise here. I want you to move your mat to the wall, all right? Okay, if you're using your phone or your computer, bring your computer with you so you can have it close to you so you can listen and maybe look over. All right, but what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you lay down on your back and swing your legs up on the wall so that you're like an L along the floor. Your butt has to be touching the wall. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that position. Okay guys, so I'm in position here with my glutes touching the wall. My knees have a slight bend to them. Okay, my feet are relaxed. And all I'm gonna do for the next 30, 45 seconds is try to let gravity flatten me out against the floor. Okay, the same way a rolling pin would roll out some dough. I'm gonna try to let gravity really flatten me out into the ground. No resistance, I'm letting go of all of my muscles. Okay, really letting gravity take away the tension in my body. And just becoming aware of where I'm having any holding patterns or where I have any pain or anything like that. Okay, guys, so this segment that we're about to do is for the lowest part of your spine. Okay, it's right as your lower back meets your pelvis. And it's probably the most common area for lower back pain. In fact, I think it is. So what your goal is to try to use your breath. Your breath is the pump. Your goal is to try to use your breath to push your hips into the wall as your lungs and your arms lengthen the rest of your spine away from the wall. All right? And again, looking for full body tension here. So if I feel all of the tension in my calves, or all the tension in my hamstrings, or all the tension in my neck, or whatever, I don't want that. I want the tension to be evenly distributed, even if it's a lot of tension, through my whole body. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna flatten my back pockets in the very top of the seat of my pants against the floor. I'm dragging my hips down the wall, flattening myself against the floor. My hips are equal on the wall. Now from this position, I'm gonna flex one foot, pulling my toes to my shin. I'm gonna flex the other foot, pulling my toes to my shin. Maintain your eyesight up at the ceiling. And now as I flatten my hips even more, I'm gonna push my heels slightly up towards the ceiling until I get like a 6 or 7 out of 10 stretch on the back side of my legs. Spreading my toes and turning my feet and my knees and my hips slightly inward. So more of the stretch is moving down the outside of my leg. Breathe and hold this for a second. Good. So once you reach that 6 or 7 out of 10, you don't stop pushing, but you stop pushing with enough intent for your heels to actually move. So I'm just pushing against the friction of the paint here, flexing my toes, pushing my heels. Now my lower back and where my kidneys are at the base of my ribs are gently pushing into the floor. Okay, I'm not crushing any of that to the ground, but I want to use the ground as a nice metric to see, am I flat? Am I connected? Now, from my hairline and the bridge of my nose, I'm lengthening towards the camera. That keeps my neck nice and neutral, but I have some good reaching from the base of my neck and the crown of my head. Take both of your arms straight up to the ceiling and start to push with your hands. Your upper body and your lower body are going to be playing a tug of war. I don't want either team to win. I want your breathing to win. As you slowly bring your arms over your head, keep reaching your arms. And now as I reach my arms, I reach my heels. As I reach my heels, I reach my glutes into the wall. As I reach my glutes into the wall, I lengthen my breath and try to breathe into my back pockets. Good. I want you to try to hit your tailbone with your breathing. And breathe. Again, guys, my goal is not to jam my knee into the wall or flex my toes so hard that all I can think about is my calves. I I want to have a nice balance between all of these pieces and connect everything that I can. 5 seconds more. 4, 3, last deep breath. Breathe all the way into the back pockets. Fill up the lungs as much as you can. As you relax, keep your arms in your spine. Relax 1 foot at a time and then bend 1 knee at a time. Relax 1 arm at a time back to your chest. Other arm back to your chest. Now you can release your spine. Take a deep breath. As you roll off the wall, you roll with your knees and your shoulders at the same time, ending up in the fetal position. And then you can come out of that. And that is our ELDOA session for today, guys. So as you stand up, give yourself a second. You might be a little lightheaded from having laid on the floor for a couple minutes, but I hope that you feel better after that. Okay, if it's your first time doing any ELDOA exercises like that, or even if you haven't touched yoga or some kind of breathing practice in a while, it's going to take some getting used to, and we're asking your muscles to do specific things that they don't necessarily do in the gym or on the field or on the court. All right, so there's going to be some adaptation that comes with that, but again, if you can breathe, if you can connect, and if you can find that gravity line, I promise the transfer to the rest of your training becomes even more apparent as you start to push your training, right? So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. My email and all the contact information is down below. Don't forget about the 6-week integrated athlete program. It comes with this class right here, 2 Mace and Rope Flow Foundations classes, some Athletic for Life home workouts that we have using our kettlebells and maces and all sorts of agility stuff that we love to do down here, and a full 6-week training plan with specific exercises, specific workouts to really try to get you to be able to move like a badass so you can stop worrying about any injuries you have, any limitations that you have, get back to the confident way that you used to be able to move, or that you want to move, and then honestly just be able to get yourself in a place to go out there and get after it, right? So what kind of challenges do you want to seek? What kind of adventures do you want to have? What kind of life do you want to live, right? Your body has to be able to keep up. So that's what we're here to do at Shift, keep you athletic for life, and that's ELDOA 1, y'all. Peace!